All right, I've been seeing this a lot. I'm about to get some backlash, but I'm gonna say it. This is from a male's perspective. I see a lot of women in my timeline on all social media platforms get upset when it comes to dating because they feel like a lot of men do not want to commit. They do not want to commit. They do not want to be monogamous, right? And I think I know the answer to that. As a male, as a person who has um, uh, male friends who got homeboys, I feel like I have a different type of perspective that a lot of women could appreciate if they're open to the information, right? Now, I'm not necessarily subscribing to this behavior because I'm a person that actually I want to fully commit to somebody. I would love to be in a long-term relationship. But I also am able to see why a lot of men are not willing to fully commit to a woman, right? The first issue that I think women have, or I'm not going to say issue, but the first thing that I feel like will help women, in my personal opinion, is asking questions for understanding, right? Asking questions for understanding and asking questions um, and not taking them personal, because that's a lot of issue. That's a lot that is very problematic for a lot of women. When you have these conversations, they get offended. They get offended and they get on defense mode. That's not healthy. You ask questions, you probe to get an understanding. You don't probe and ask questions to rebuttal. That's the first problem. Whether you agree or disagree with it, you need to listen. That makes you a better version of yourself the more open you are to listening and asking questions. That's the first problem a lot of women have, okay? Second thing is women a lot of the times don't try to understand the nature of men. Well, I'm not going to say they don't try. I'm just going to say that it'll make it easier if you try to understand the nature of men. Now, we're both human beings, but we're two different genders, so we're wired differently. A lot of people forget about that. Okay, we're two different. We're very similar, but we're very different at the same time. If you understand the nature of a male, it could a lot of times open your eyes and your perspective so you'll be able to move accordingly. Okay. Now, this is what you need to know. Based on tradition and culture, a lot of women, or not a lot of men, by society, not every woman thinks like this now. So if you don't apply to this, and if you're not in this category, don't mean I'm wrong. It just means that you're not in this category. But a lot of men, a lot of women see men as resources. They want resources. They want resources and security. We walk around looking like we just a walking check, pretty much. We just equity. I'm calling it how it is. So we are looked at as resources. As resources, our value is based on what we're able to bring to the table. So that could be in different forms. That can be in money. A lot of times it's dealing with money, how much money we're able to bring to the table. A lot of women want sugar daddies and stuff like that. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's what it is. A lot of want somebody that somebody can take care of them. A lot of them want assets. You got to have your assets together. You got to have your house, your car, or something like that, right? They judge you a lot of times if you're living with somebody other than yourself, right? So you might live with your mom or whatever. No matter what else you got going on, if you live with your mom, you ain't shit. You a bum, pretty much. That's how they look at it. Now, I'm a person that live by myself, and I see different perspectives. Okay, I see different perspectives, but a lot of times, a lot of women they judge you based on that. Okay. With that being said, I feel like a lot of men know this subconsciously, but they don't know how to articulate it. What's very important to a man is their time and their resources. Okay, so if you are asking a man to fully commit to you, you asking them to fully shut down their options, right? There are other options, in which sex is very important to a man, right? You asking them to shut down their options and you ask them to fully commit to you, which means you probably want time, right? A lot of the times men don't want to sacrifice their time. Their time is important, and that's what you want. You want time, you want consistency, you want security. Those are the most valuable things to a man. So they're not willing to sacrifice those things if they don't see enough consistency of their preferences in you. And that's the issue that a lot of women have, and that's the confliction. You got to understand what you bring to the table, and you need to understand what that guy brings to the table, and you need to ask questions. Now, a lot of times they can be a little selfish. They may want you to fully they might want you to fully commit to them, right? Because they want to see the consistency. And if you're not willing to do that, then that could be an issue too, right? Now, it's messed up. I'm not looking for I'm not saying that. Here's another thing. It ain't about being fair. That's a huge misconception. It ain't about being fair. It's just what it is. Like, there's a lot of pros and cons to both genders. There's certain things that women can do that men cannot do based on society standards and without being frowned upon. And it's vice versa for men, right? So it's a lot of things that men can do that women can do. And it's a lot of things that women can do that men can't do based on society standards, based on what it is. So if you understand what it is, instead of complaining about what it ain't, you'll be able to, you give yourself a better opportunity when it comes to a successful, healthy relationship. That's just my personal opinion, right? You need to understand that men are only looked at as resources and protectors. And in order for us to really sacrifice those things, he needs to see enough consistency in you. If you get offended when a guy asks you what you bring to the table, that could be an issue. A lot of times women don't even know what they bring to the table. They don't know. You don't know. So how can you get mad at somebody and you don't even know what you bring to the table?